Hi, good afternoon. I'm David Kiley, Editor-in-Chief of AOL Autos. And I'm very excited today to announce a new award program that AOL Autos is going to be embarking on in 2012. It is the Technology of the Year Award from AOL Autos. And we are marshaling the firepower and expertise of AOL Autos, Autoblog, Engadget, Translogic, and the Huffington Post to all come together on next year, at next year's CES, crowning the King of the Hill on Technology of the Year as you find it in autos. Before I get into the details of the award and who qualifies and how it's all going to work, I'd like you to take a look at this video.
We're the first in the market to be offering a fully capacitive faceplate.
It has a really clean, unique human-machine interface. We have this feature with MapQuest called Charge Station Finder.
The A-pillar, the tube that goes across the roofline, is actually one tube of carbon fiber.
The mobile media interface is very nicely laid out. There's a touchpad down here, and all you have to do is draw a letter. It reads the letter for me.
Great, now I'm going to have a lot of help on this award this year, and I'd like to bring up some of the judges that are going to help me. Engadget Editor-in-Chief Tim Stevens, the creator and editor and executive producer of Translogic, Adam Morath, and Lauren, the car coach Fix. And we also have a lot of judges who aren't here today, but I definitely want to mention John Neff, who's editor-in-chief of Autoblog, and Damon Laverick, who's our technology editor, Sharon Carty, who's the automotive editor for Huffington Post, Tony Fadell, who is the founder and CEO of Nest.com, and a lot of people at CES will know from his days at Apple as the father of the iPod. Not a bad credential to have for a Technology of the Year award. And also I want to give a shout out to Shelby Fix, who is the teen car coach and is a chip off the old block with her mom and is developing a terrific voice and outreach to young drivers, and we're very happy to have her on our judging panel. Before I get into the details of the award and how it's going to work, because I know a lot of automotive companies and supplier companies who do business in the auto industry are going to be interested, I want to tell a quick story about technology and quality. A few years ago, J.D. Power redid the way that it does its quality rankings, and Mercedes-Benz actually fell several places. And I called Mercedes and found a very irate executive explaining to me that they had lost points and lost standing on the quality rating because of excessive brake dust. Consumers found it unsightly. And if you know anything about Mercedes brakes, they're some of the best in the industry. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to leave some brake dust. And I did kid him around a little bit and told him that BMW had avoided the penalty by coming up with these really innovative tiny vacuum tubes that sucked the brake dust off the wheels of the moving car. I had him going for about 30 minutes before he realized I was pulling his leg. But you know, today, Mercedes is really one of the best. Not only the hardware of the vehicle itself, but the technology that's inside. And one of the reasons that it's one of the best is that off that experience, it really reevaluated its technology, and it started subtracting stuff that didn't make sense, that didn't add to an improved, more dynamic driving experience for the owner. So it's all about how usable and how effective and how engaging the technology is. And that's what this award is going to be about. I know what you're thinking, though. If you look at our judges, you probably think we're all a bunch of early adopters and tech geeks. A few of us are. But I can tell you that I've been caught shouting at the top of my lungs at navigation systems with the idea that the lady was actually going to talk back to me. And my to-do list every day, even though I'm a slave to my smartphone, is actually written on one of these and put in my pocket every day. So I can tell you that there are a few of us on this judging panel that are very regular folks and technology users. So what are we going to be judging exactly? We're going to be assessing and judging connectivity like Ford Sync, Toyota's Entune and Cadillac's new Q system, telematics like GM's OnStar, Mercedes Embrace and Hyundai's new BlueLink system, and active safety systems like lane departure warnings and collision mitigation. This is the battlefield now for quality and leadership in the auto industry, and I think we've put together the best panel of judges in the industry to assess what is the best. So, how to submit your technology to our award program? We have a URL and a website which is live today and which we'll put up on the screen right now. And also, when you go to that URL, there's a chance to win a big flat screen Samsung TV and a Roku and all you need to do is subscribe to our newsletter. Every other week we're going to have an e-newsletter with really relevant news and commentary about the technology that is going to be eligible for this award. At the September 15th cutoff this year, which is the end of the nominations, we're going to come together as judges, see where we are in these three categories, and then between September 15th and the LA Auto Show in November, we're going to open things up to our readers, our Autoblog readers, AOL readers, Translogic readers, and Gadget readers, to tell us what you think is the best of these technologies that we've gotten to the finalist position. Now, a lot of consumers won't have tested the individual technologies, but we want their voices in this process. They will have been reading our stuff all year, and they know about the technology, and even from a conceptual level, we want to know what they think and whether they would be willing to pay more for these technologies. And so, whatever the public vote is, that is going to carry the weight of one judge on our panel. So it's definitely going to be a multi-layered and all-inclusive kind of process to crown the Technology of the Year winner at next year's CES. Now, I can tell you that assessing this technology is very challenging. It's harder to assess, I find, Ford Sync or Hyundai BlueLink than it is to judge whether the car is a good driving machine. And to talk a little bit about this, I'd like to have Tim Stevens come on and talk about his experience, not only as editor-in-chief of Engadget, but as the former automotive editor of the site.
That's right. I got my start at Engadget as the automotive editor. That was my first big position at the site, and I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy for a very long time. My first car was a Toyota MR2, which I autocrossed and went through many sets of tires on that thing, swapped in a new front roll bar. I now have a Subaru WRX that I ice race and rallycross. I also do some karting. So yeah, I'm very much into cars, and of course, as the editor-in-chief of Engadget, I'm also a little bit into technology too. And something that we see more and more every day is the cross-pollination between consumer electronics and the automotive world. Things like Ford AppLink and the other systems we were talking about, BlueLink and MyFord, and all these other elements of technology that are becoming more and more common in these cars. But yet, so many people are finding that they don't really like these technologies. MyFord has had some issues, and we've seen some consumer feedback that's maybe not so positive. So I'm looking forward to the ability to evaluate these sorts of systems and see how they work, not only from an advancement in a technology standpoint, but also from a usability standpoint, and see which ones actually make your life easier as a driver. And so I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to play with all of these cars, and for me, that's the best part.
That's great. I'm also guessing that you're smart enough not to actually yell at the voice in the navigation system.
I may have raised my voice a time or two to my GPS lady, and like yours, I'm sure she has never responded in kind.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tim.
Thank you.
Now, Adam Morath, who's the creator and editor of Translogic, I know he's got a couple of stories from having done so many Translogic episodes about how well technology works.
Yeah, so obviously Translogic, it's all about the intersection of transportation and technology. So that's why we're so excited about the award. And over the past few years, as we've tested vehicles, we've seen how it has created sort of new challenges as well. So this technology is making our lives easier in some ways, but it's sort of making the lives harder for the manufacturers in different kind of unexpected ways. One example of that, we were having a great time test driving the Chevy Volt plug-in electric hybrid vehicle. But when it came time to recharge it, we were low on range. We consulted the OnStar system, which led us to the nearest charging station. We thought, well, this is great. This is really working out nicely. We went to go plug the car in, though, and the adapter didn't work. It was actually made for the EV1, which was an earlier GM product and not compatible with the Volt. So that's really why I think this award is so important, is that we really need to suss out what's working, shine a spotlight on it, and show the manufacturers that have taken it not 90% of the way, but 100% of the way in terms of making this technology really integrated into our lives.
Great, thanks. I'm actually a big fan of the Volt, and that's a great example where GM actually had a little penalty from being ahead of the game because they had been out with an EV and still had some, with EV1, and still had some old legacy chargers around Silicon Valley. But they're to be commended for being out front this year on the Volt. And now, some people have a sort of a natural eye, ear, and feel for technology, how it should work, and one of those people is Lauren, the Car Coach Fix, and that's why I asked her to be on our judging panel. Lauren?
Well, thank you for having me. This is really a great opportunity because I am a huge car nut. A car geek, maybe. I even named my daughter Shelby, so I guess it says I'm really into it. But I restored cars and raced cars, and so I know what it's like from the beginnings in the 60s when things were, a big technological thing was a Philco radio, which is so last century. But today, I do every once in a while yell at my navigation system, and I do love technology, and it's really great for me to have the opportunity to show people how this is your new living room. People live in their cars. I mean, you used to have conversations around the kitchen table. Now we're having conversations in our car. So the technology is so integrated that what used to be just in your family room, we have cool stereos and TVs and stuff, is now in your vehicle. It's sort of like the iPod on the road or the iPhone on the road. And the connectivity and the telematics have developed so much and so quickly, with the round view cameras and how it's really integrated into traction control, stability control, and what it can do for consumers to make them safer. And I love to have the opportunity to test this, so I'll get to drive even more cars and test them from a different perspective than I do on some of the things that I do.
That's great. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank you.
So this is going to be a very important year for technology because not only do we have so much new technology coming on board, but at the same time we've got the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Department of Transportation rattling their sabers in Washington, threatening to take all of the technology out of the car. So it's going to be a battle royale between industry, regulators, and the media, and that's where we come in. We think that this award program and the hub of content that we are developing around it at our website, which I encourage everybody to go to. Again, there's a chance this week if you go to our website and subscribe to our Tech of the Year newsletter, you can win yourself a really nice big screen Samsung TV and a Roku, and I'm really hoping this year that you can all watch the Giants in the Super Bowl on that screen, because that's my team. But again, the auto industry is very serious about this show. After we're done, Alan Mulally, CEO of Ford, is giving remarks. Earlier today, Dieter Zetsche from Daimler. It's not for no reason that they make this a critical stop on their schedule. They were in Detroit yesterday with me. So we'll be back here next year at this time, probably in the same spot, to crown the King of the Hill for Technology of the Year. And we hope you all join us when we're back next year. Thanks very much.